Hey Acers, I know it's been a few days and I kind of fell behind a little bit, but I wanted to just get back to you and let you know I haven't forgotten you. I can't forget you. You guys are awesome, and I'm grateful that you are part of my Ace Role Playing Games Club group. So I wanted to just kind of update you where we are. I mean, obviously my bookshelf from behind me is gone, and the room behind me is a bit of a mess because we're still in the throes of moving, and I'm hoping that tomorrow we'll have most of that pile of stuff gone. So, and also I'm hoping that when we get moved into the new house, that we can intentionally bring in everything that we want to bring in, and we can keep out stuff that would junk it up. Do we know where we're moving yet? No, we don't. It will be here in Daybreak, I'm hoping. We've looked a few places outside of Daybreak, but Daybreak's really cool. We like Daybreak. And I love the fact that I get really good internet speeds. It kind of is. I also wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about having a real life outside of gaming. And I know especially when you're a teen, gaming can become your whole life. And even as a grown-up, it can become your whole life. You get on servers where you're chatting with other people about gaming, and I love my gaming friends that are on my servers. I mean, there are some people who have become very dear to my heart, who are some of my favorite people in the whole world, and they're on like the Discord servers and stuff that I'm on. And I get to play games with them. Like upcoming Sunday, I'm going to be playing at 2 p.m. So it means I got to get out of church, come straight home, and take my nap. But at 2 p.m., well, actually, I'm hoping that tomorrow night after I run the game for our friends, the Blacks, my kids love that game. I'm hoping that tomorrow night I can I can have time to get to bed at a decent time, because I get up at 7 o'clock in the morning on Sundays to walk our dog Maya. She's a big fluffy beast, like big fluffy beast. Yeah, big kind of fluffy beast. And she is really sweet and cute, and also kind of stupid. And she's a food thief too. She'll steal food and give it half a chance. I mean, I eat this much of a sandwich, and she's like, I mean, every time it moves to up to my mouth, back down, thinking of how she would dare to jump forward and grab it out of my hand. And I'd love to punt her when she does that. But on the whole, she's been a very good dog. And she loves to get her, like, go between my legs and get her back scratched. So, anyway. So, yeah, Blacks are on Saturday night. And tomorrow's my friend Bjorn's birthday. He's my oldest gaming buddy. So, Bjorn, if you see this, happy birthday, buddy. I still love you. I wish we were in each other's lives still, but lives do move on. And then on Sunday, then I have another Titan Effect game. And I'm playing a guy who's actually kind of quiet and reserved about taking care of ordnance, explosives removal and application. But at the same time, he's also, because he can rush into situations because of his precognition, he is known as Crazy Harry. And so I gave him the last name of Callahan, so that way I could nod to two pretty cool characters. Crazy Harry from The Muppet Show, and Harry Callahan, who is also known as Dirty Harry. So, there we go. Anyway, like I said, I wanted to talk a little bit about having a real life outside of gaming. Because like I've said many times on this channel, gaming serves life, not the other way around. Now, could you make a career out of gaming? It's possible. It's a lot easier to do it in the video game industry. And, because we've been able to connect through the internet and everything, it's a lot easier to have gaming online. And that's what I'm going to be doing with my friends on Sunday, is playing in that Titan Effect game. And one guy's in Arizona. Well, a couple guys are in Arizona. One guy's, they're all over the place. And that's really nice. And these are friends I hope to meet someday in person. But at the same time, I have real friends in real life that also need my help and love and attention. And no friends are more closer to me, are more close to me than my family. My wife is the best thing that's ever happened to me. I would give up all the gaming in the world to be able to be with her. So cultivate other interests in your life. Cultivate other strengths. Work on your weaknesses. Ask your friends and family to help you to find your weaknesses and improve on them. Because finding that best friend who eventually you never have to say goodnight to, you can just say good morning to her or him. If you're, it doesn't matter. You can have the best part of your life with somebody who, in my case, doesn't game. Do I wish she'd game with me? Oh, yes. And she tried once. I'll give her that. It was a Rollmaster game. There we go. And my friend Bob Defendi, he's the one who ran it. And Bob Defendi's a great Rollmaster GM. Apparently my friend Sequoia was also a really good Rollmaster game master. And apparently you need to be able to do vector calculus so that way you can run it in your head. So anyway, actually I've been talking a little bit about my history in gaming. That kind of leads me to I kind of got you up through champions and things like that. Now I hit my pre-mission in gaming, and that's World of Darkness. Well, actually, there was some D&D in there, but mostly it was World of Darkness. And Vampire the Masquerade, I didn't really play much of that, but I knew about it. I liked Werewolf the Apocalypse better, and I played some of that. And then I really got into Mage the Ascension, and that takes me right up to my mission. I actually played Mage the Ascension with my Utah Valley State College, now Utah Valley University. I played it with their role-playing game club and made some of the greatest friends I ever had. I always would play Akashic Brotherhood, or Akashic Brotherhood, however you say it, because they're the martial artists. And I have been a fan of martial arts pretty much my whole life. Martial arts, military, all those kind of things, I've loved them. I still love them. I'm watching the Terminal List right now, which is pretty cool, and it's kind of got an interesting feel to it. And then my son and I are watching Yojimbo, which is Japanese for the bodyguard, and it's one of Akira Kurosawa's great films. It's the one that inspired Clint Eastwood's or Sergio Leone to do A Fistful of Dollars, which was basically a scene-for-scene ripoff of Yojimbo, and Toho Company had to sue Leone's company. And then there's also the official remake of it, which is Last Man Standing with Bruce Willis, which kind of didn't jam as well, but I like the setting because it's like set in the 1930s during the Depression, kind of post-gangster mafia, it's pretty cool. And Christopher Walken's in it, and he's pretty cool too. And then, of course, Lucky Number 11 feels a lot like that as well. If it didn't have the nudity in it, and the harsh language, it'd be a pretty cool one. But it is pretty violent, and so wait until you're older to see it. But these kind of stories are definitely what influenced me. And like I said, I've always been into martial arts. I mean, when I was a kid, G.I. Joe was the coolest cartoon on TV. It was so cool that with all my G.I. Joe action figures, and I still have about 100 of them. I love those things. But with all my G.I. Joe action figures, I came to a point in my childhood where I thought, well, I'm never going to play with my Star Wars action figures again. So I gave them all to our thrift store, the Deseret Industries. And boy, do I regret that. They weren't as articulated as the G.I. Joes, and that's the reason why I got rid of them. But I still wish I would have kept them. But I'm glad that somebody else out there was able to get them and play with them and have fun with them and enjoy them better than I ever could. I think I even got like rid of a black figured Luke Skywalker with the black glove on his hand and everything. And yeah, I really, I kind of regret that, but I don't. At the same time, I don't. Just like I don't really regret giving one of my former friends, Matt. You know, I mean, I'd still love to see him again, but I don't regret giving him all my comics. And yeah, martial arts, even from that age, I remember Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow and their true story, not the one that was given in the G.I. Joe movie that sucked. Anyway, I didn't even bother with the second one or the Snake Eyes movie or anything like that because they suck. And so I really got into ninjas, and I had friends that had ninja books, and I read all the ninja books that I could possibly get my hands on. I read all the black belt magazines and stuff about ninjas and ninja this and ninja that. Everything was ninjas until later in life when I found out what ninjas kind of really were and really how they operated, and that their martial art really isn't that great for me. Maybe it is for you. If you do ninjutsu, great on you. But for me, nah. I'll go on about, well, I will say this much. I am currently taking a self-defense course and have been for almost a decade. My self-defense instructor is a guy named Casey, who's probably, I'm almost a head taller than him. And I probably outweigh him by 50 to 70 pounds. I'm a pretty big guy myself, and he's not that big. He's 73. I'm 45. He can still kick my butt 5 ways from Sunday. And he's fast. Oh, he's so fast. And he trained with really cool people in Taiwan, including this guy named Wu, who I want to be like this guy Wu, because his first response was always his last response. And yeah, martial arts really always did it for me. And my dad showed me all sorts of really cool martial arts and action movies when I was a kid. I remember seeing all these movies like First Blood and just all these other movies that were just so incredible and so well done, at least for a kid of that age. And Highlander is still one of my favorite movies of all time. And I should probably do a video about that sometime because, hey, I am working on learning some software so I can do some commentary on some of the movies and things that meant a lot to me. Well, that said, I played, like I said, I often would play Akashic Brotherhood in Mage the Ascension. And I loved that world. I loved that setting. I loved everything to do with it. And the idea of being awakened and seeing the world for what it really is. And I guess that comes back to my earlier point about finding joy outside of gaming. Because for almost 2 years, for 2 years, I didn't do any role-playing games. And I did play a lot of Magic the Gathering. I started that in high school. Started playing Magic, or as I like to call it, crack for gamers. Because, like crack, it's cheap to buy, and you get a good high, but then you've played the same deck so many times that you're like, I need more cards for this deck, or I want to build another deck. And so you keep buying and buying and buying and buying. I probably got $2,000 worth of cards if I was to sell them all, but I won't. I've even got one card that's like really high in demand and really rare, and just alone that card's worth $500. But I don't want to get rid of them. I enjoy playing the game when I play it, and I don't play it that often anymore. And it kind of ended with my daughter's boyfriend. Well, it ended a long time before. We just kind of built me a kind of a quick little nasty deck that I could throw out, and it allowed me to get things out that I shouldn't be able to get out that quick. And yeah, it was a pretty fun little deck. Thanks, Alex, for helping me put that together. Anyway, I played Magic on my mission. I bought, actually, with my companion on my mission. Oh, let me back up a little bit. Before my mission, I had ordered a box of Ice Ages booster packs. And actually even going back further in high school, I bought the initial decks, and then I bought a whole big box of Arabian Nights cards. But turned out that I needed that money for something else, so I had to sell them back to the guy that I bought them from, and I really wish I could get those. Oh, they were cool, because I guess that was even the first, before Antiquities, that was the first expansion pack for Magic, and had a lot of overpowered cards in it and everything. I then bought a booster box of Ice Ages before my mission, and they were delayed in coming out, so they sent me my money back. On my mission, my companion and I, when I was out of the deaf program and into the Spanish-speaking program, Elder Hardy and I, and a shout out to you, Dustin, I still love you, man. You were still one of my most favorite people in the whole world, but we went in halves on a booster box of Ice Ages that we found at a swap meet thing in New York, out on Long Island. And Dustin and I were able to get that. He got a Jester's Cap, which was like a really powerful card at the time. And I was so bummed. I was like, I got to trade you for that, but it never happened. We also had cards from the game Lord of the Rings, and I actually had Alatar, Palando, and Gandalf. Although I did not have Saruman or Radagast. I think I traded those for Alatar and Palando. But anyway, I knew they were named Alatar and Palando before I read Unfinished Tales, which that came in college. So that's later in my overall story. And I did buy the GURPS core rulebook on my mission and some dice. I bought more dice because when I was in the missionary training center, one of our friends, Kimber Dawn, she worked at the missionary training center, and I decided I was going to completely leave my gaming life behind and everything. So I gave all of my dice to her and said, please take those to my family. They never showed up, and I never saw them again. Kimber Dawn. Probably still have that little purple bag of dice kicking around your house somewhere. She was either dating or married to one of my good friends, our family good friends. And Phil, he was awesome. And his younger brother Eddie, who's just older than me, he's like maybe 2 years older than me. He's a bishop now. That's so weird. To think that a guy my age is a bishop. But then again, the last guy who was my bishop before this current guy, he was younger than me. But anyway, that's me up through my mission, and then I'll cover post-mission later. But anyway, I love you guys. Love you in the American Sign Language. I wouldn't have this channel if it weren't for you. And I wouldn't be talking to you if I didn't think I could share my game mastering knowledge. And like I said, I want to try and start doing maybe some commentary and stuff like that on things that inspired me. So anyway, thank you, and game for good. This is Mason Emerson from Ace Role Playing Games Club, signing off.